What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steph B with Branch Huddle, and welcome to another episode. I'm here joined by George Duke and then Stephen A. And so today we are going over NFL free agents. So we're going over the defensive ones for today's episode. We're going to go ahead and start out with edge rushers. I'll go ahead and kick the lead off. So for my top three edge rushers, I have Shaquille Barrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and Trey Hendrickson. Those are my top three defensive edge rushers. So I have Shaquille Barrett going to either Baltimore or Arizona. I got Jadeveon Clowney going to Cleveland or Indianapolis or Jacksonville. And then I got Trey Hendrickson either ending up in Indianapolis, Jacksonville, or New England. George, what's your top three, man?
Yeah, my top three edge rushers, I got Jadeveon Clowney, like you said. I got Bud Dupree and Shaq Barrett.
Okay. And where do you think they're going to end up?
I got Clowney, man. I got Clowney actually going back to a 4-3 defense, so I got him actually going to Indianapolis. I can see him going to the coast because he was the AFC South, so I can see him going to Indianapolis, especially if they lose Justin Houston, which I think they're going to lose him. So I can see him trying to bring another veteran in to replace him. Shaq Barrett, man, I see them actually doing a swap with him in Pittsburgh and Bud Dupree, if that makes sense. I can see Shaq going to Pittsburgh and Bud Dupree going to Tampa Bay. I think that's going to be like a swap.
Man, that's a dangerous swap, man. That's a dangerous swap with Bud Dupree coming off that ACL. But I mean,
yeah, but I feel like
it's a cheaper option too, though.
Yeah, because like you just got JP Peter in Tampa Bay, and they gonna need. That's how they were so successful last year in the Super Bowl against us. You don't have the year with the defense. That front seven generate that good pass rush. So if you take away Shaq Barrett, which is a bulk of that, and just leave JPP, he's gonna get double. And Dominic Sue's a free agent too. So I can see them bringing in Bud Dupree, a good veteran, like a prove himself type of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Stephen A.
Yeah, so I would say that my picks would be Leonard Williams. It's like J.J. Watt, I guess, doesn't count since he's already been picked up. Like you said, Shaq Barrett. And then also, Bud Dupree. With Bud Dupree, I think probably he's going to go to, like, Baltimore for some reason. And then also for Shaq Barrett, I think maybe they'll find a way to retain him. And also for Leonard Williams, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he can go to I don't know who else has the need, but I know that obviously they've been scouting him heavy based on the division he's already been in. So I'm not completely sure where he may go, but I think definitely he's a good pickup. I know that was somebody you guys didn't necessarily look at.
Right, yeah, speaking of Leonard Williams, man, I actually had him on my list, but I put him to my interior defensive ends just in case he switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So
that's what I have too, yo.
Yeah, speaking of Leonard Williams, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna transition into that. And that's our next position that we're gonna cover is our interior. George, why don't you go ahead and lead out because you said you had Leonard Williams as one of your interior defensive linemen.
Yep. I had Leonard Williams in there. I had Dominic Sue. And then I had Tomlinson from the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
so
that.
where I see them going, I'm starting Leonard Williams, like you said. I'm kind of with you. I feel like he's going to go to a 4-3 team and switch kind of from that 3-4 in to like that 4-3 interior defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him kind of going to Leonard Williams, man. I'm trying to think of he got a real good 4-3 team. That I can see more like Buffalo because he's already with the Giants for so many years. I feel like Buffalo kind of thin on the front line. I don't really know any names on that front line right there. I'm just go based off of how we played them last year twice. I mean, we ran on them at will the first time we played them, and then they couldn't really get a pass rush on us. I mean, the Chiefs, of course. in the playoffs. So I feel like they can add him to that interior line and get a push to go get some of the AFC opponents. And Dominican Sue, I mean, I can see him going to somewhere like New England. I feel like New England's going to try to bolster up that defense with some of the starters coming back too. I feel like he can go to New England, man, on a good veteran deal. I think he'd like to play with Bill Belichick and try to get him another ring that way. And then as far as Tomlinson, I think he's going to try to – I think the Giants is going to try to retain him. I don't think they're going to let him really walk because he's really all they got on that defensive line right now.
Okay, I see you, man. That Dominican Sue, that'd be crazy if he left. I think he's likely to stay just because of once you get a taste of the Super Bowl, bro. It's kind of like some players are like, man, I'm good with winning. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave from that winning culture. But hey, man, I like your list. For me, for my interior defensive lineman, I had Leonard Williams number 1. So for him, I have him staying with New York because I think they're either going to franchise him or they're going to re-sign him. Because with Dave Gettleman, man, with my unfortunate experience with him running the Carolina Panthers for as long as he did, he has this weird obsession with big hog mollies, as he calls them. He has this weird obsession with those type of players. So, and plus he traded for him. So I don't think he wants to let him walk. And he was their best defensive player, arguably their best defensive player last year. So I have him either getting franchise tagged or they're going to work out a deal. More likely they're going to work out a deal because it costs too much money to franchise tag him all over again. And then for my second person, I got Dalvin Thompson, just like you did, George. I have him going to either Jacksonville or Cincinnati. But I do like Buffalo. I like Buffalo. Now that you brought Buffalo up, you guys did run it down their throats the first time at the beginning of the season. So I do like that Buffalo. And then for my third one, I had Shelby Harris, formerly of the Denver Broncos. I think he's going to either stay at Denver or he's going to make his way over to Houston. But at this point, I think Houston's a dumpster fire because no one knows what Deshaun Watson's doing. He's being held hostage. So it's a dumpster fire over there, man. So I'd be surprised if they end up with any free agents without having to overpay.
Right.
Steven, what you think, man?
Yeah, so looking at my notes here, I think that Quan Jones from the Titans, man, it's tough. Like, I don't know if maybe, Buffalo is a fit there, maybe for him. I know you guys already mentioned Sue, which I don't know if Sue just wants to, win and stay with the Bucks. And then lastly, I would say, let's see here. I don't know. What about Sheldon Rankins? I said it's hard to tell where some of these guys are going to go because, like, some of them aren't necessarily the, marquee names that you just want to put out there. Say, hey, this is the main person I want to sign, but they could be added benefit to a already made team. So, I'm not really sure where he'll go, but looking forward to seeing what comes up here as free agency dwindles down.
Yeah, man, Sheldon Rankins. Sheldon Rankins, man. I like that. And I would love to see him come to Carolina and pair up with our young defensive line. But, hopefully, because, New Orleans doesn't have any cap. Now, I looked at that. They were like, what, negative like 60-something million or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, negative 61 million, man. So, New Orleans. So I don't think they're going to be able to retain any of their free agents, man. They do horrible. So with that, we're going to transition into our linebackers. Stephen A., what do you got for us for linebackers, man?
Linebackers. Everybody loves linebackers. So we're talking about inside linebackers, right?
Yep, inside linebackers or outside.
All right. I know, especially with the Chiefs playing Buffalo in the AFC Championship, Matt Milano, his name came up a lot. I think that probably just end up re-signing with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, to be honest with you, if he knows what's good for him. So I think that's going to probably be where he lands. Looking also at some of the other names on the list. Like I said, I know this isn't a sexy pick, but Levante David, I think he's going to come back. You see Bruce Arians kind of giving those guys that bravado to, say, hey, they're gonna stay with the team to try to develop some more and see what else they can do. And then I would say for my third person would be Jayon Brown from the Tennessee Titans, which I could possibly see him attempting to get some money elsewhere. I'm thinking either with I could see a Miami, I could see a also maybe a New England if possible. So that's my three.
Okay. George, what's your three do you have for linebackers?
I got a lot of the same picks as Stephen A. I got Levante David, of course. I got Milano from Buffalo. And then for my third linebacker, I went kind of back to the edge rusher, outside linebacker, Melvin Ingram.
Okay.
3-4 fit linebacker, of course. I'm gonna start with Melvin Ingram. Actually, it's gonna be funny because I actually think all three of them is gonna stay where they are. Because kind of the piggyback on what Stephen A. just said about Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay, I can't see them let Levante leave. So either he'll get franchise tag, because I think they'll let probably Goodwin probably walk because they got Mike Evans and a couple other receivers coming up on the offense side. So I think defense gonna be a focus of keeping that core there. Like you said, Buffalo with Milano, he's like the only defensive star they really got as far as like with that front seven, so I can't really see them letting him go. And then, like I said, Melvin Ingram, Chargers to me has always had a good roster, so I think they're gonna try to keep that in place. They don't really got a lot of cap casualties and things like that, so I can see him staying there too. So the linebackers I got, the top three I actually got them all staying put.
Okay.
Somehow, some way, either franchise tag or some kind of workout of contract.
Hey, I agree with both of you regarding Levante David. I don't see him leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at all. Plus, Arians came out and said, like, hey, Levante David's not leaving this team. So I'll slide in with my top three. For number one, I had Levante David as well. I had him staying with Tampa, but if some off chance, somehow, some way, he happens to leave, the Raiders are going to come knocking at his door right at midnight if that happens. Number two, I had Matt Milano. Same thing with y'all. And I don't think he's leaving Buffalo. He said he wants to see the more money that's out there. With the way the cap is right now, I don't think as much money is going to be available to him somewhere else as it would be in Buffalo. So I got him staying with Buffalo or the off chance of going to Detroit. But more than likely, he's going to stay at Buffalo. And then for my third one, I wanted to jump back in the time machine a little bit and pull out KJ Wright. For me, KJ Wright, he a beast. He said he don't want to take a hometown discount. So he's probably going to be leaving Seattle. But if the off chance he does, I think he'll probably end up in Carolina because we are very weak in our linebacker core. We have an overpaid Shaq Thompson, according to a lot of Carolina Panthers fans. And on the web pages, they say Shaq Thompson was overpaid. So you get KJ Wright in there to provide that veteran leadership that we were missing and we were trying to get with Tahir Whitehead last year that we didn't get.
Yep.
So I have KJ Wright going to possibly Carolina. Next up, we got our DBs, defensive backs. We're going to transfer into our cornerbacks. George, why don't you go ahead and lead us off with the cornerbacks? Who is your top three corners?
Now, a little background story on myself real quick. I was a cornerback in high school, so this is my favorite position. I love, when I watch football, I look at cornerbacks. This was tough for me because like we was talking about earlier before we started, filming or recording, It's a lot of – the list for free agent cornerbacks is long, right? So I'm going to go with Justin Verrett because like you said, first couple of years in the NFL was kind of injured, so we couldn't really see what he was about. So he came to San Francisco, really showed what he can do. That's good. That's going to be a good pickup for somebody, right? I got Patrick Peterson, Arizona Cardinals. I feel like his time in Arizona's up. They're going to try everything they can do to keep him. I think maybe bring J.J. Watt. He might want to stay now because they're kind of bringing over more big-name phrases coming over, so I could see him staying, honestly. And then third, man, I got Ronald Darby from the Redskins, man. Like, he came from that Buffalo system, man. That's a good corner right there, man.
That's a good
And
point.
I said this earlier, like New England, they always go after a nice, well-known, rounded corner. You know what I mean? So if somehow Gilmore is released or cut, like he's projected to be, I can see New England going in and trying to sneak and grab Darby. They came from the same Buffalo system, got the same type of playing style, big corners, physical, they can run with you. I can see him going to New England. If he leaves Washington, I can see them grabbing him. Yep.
Okay, it's a nice top three. So
I ain't sure where Brett was going. I'm sorry. I said where Brett was going.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Barrett, yeah, I don't think he's gonna stay with San Francisco. I think he's gonna leave. I can see Barrett going to Seattle.
Seattle
Seahawks, man. I can see him going to Seattle, man. Kind of shore up that little secondary, man, with Jamal Adams back there. They don't really have a true number one corner to me, my opinion. So I feel like Brett come here and fill that void.
Okay. Speaking of Seattle corners, I have Shaq Griffin, former number one Seattle corner, at the top of my DB list. I have him either going to Carolina, because we need one, and we just hired their I think their scouting director or something as our GM. I can see Dallas. See him ended up in Dallas because they run a similar system. They're going to start running a similar system in Dallas with hiring Quinn. And then the third place is possibly the Las Vegas Raiders, because they need secondary help. They need it bad. Like,
yeah, definitely.
It's evident last year, like, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Kansas City. So if you don't have any secondary help, you're not getting past Kansas City. And then for my number 2 corner, it's going to be Patrick Peterson. I honestly think Patrick Peterson's not – actually, I think, like you said, with the J.J. Watt signing, prior to the J.J. Watt signing, I did not think he was coming back to Arizona. After this J.J. Watt signing, I don't see him leaving Arizona. But if he does, and they decide to go younger in that, with their cornerback core, I see him going to Kansas City, taking a huge pay discount to go to Kansas City, and filling the role that probably Breeland's going to leave behind when he leaves. And then, once again, the Raiders, because they need help. And John Gruden likes old veteran corners that can teach the young corners. So that's his whole team building, like the way he builds his teams. He goes with veterans, with young players, and tries to help them mentor each other on the field. And then for my third corner, I actually was torn between Brian Poole and Mike Hilton. I went ahead and said Mike Hilton because he was a really good nickel corner in Pittsburgh. And so I see him ending up in San Francisco with the loss of Verrett, and then or the Chargers or Carolina, because we're also missing a slot corner too. So those are my 3 spots for Mike Hilton: is Carolina, San Francisco, or the Chargers. Stephen A., who you got for your DBs?
Yeah, so I think with Shaquille Griffin, to your guys' point, very impressed with him. I think he's probably going to go to one of those NFC West teams that may need his services. Also, let's look at William Jackson from the Bengals. You know what? I mean, I know that the Bengals didn't have a lot going for them. I know they had Burrow. He got injured. But, hey, I think maybe he stays there. He stays put if he believes and thinks he can get – probably that's where the money's going to be, considering that maybe not good enough to be in Baltimore. And Baltimore is kind of set right now when it comes to those the cornerback position. And then lastly, what I would say is I don't know if I want to go with Verrett. Verrett seems to be very injury prone. So let's go with Mike Hilton from the Steelers. And then let's have him stay with the Steelers. Because, like I said, who knows what's going to happen with the whole Big Ben situation and all that, the stability. But, Mike Tomlin's always good for setting his team up for success. So, I mean, they're typically good regardless of what we think about them before the season. So
True. Yeah, and I agree with you, man. If they can get their cap situation in play, and if they can get it under control, I do see Mike Hilton staying with Pittsburgh because outside of Hilton and Hayden, they don't have anybody else really in that secondary. So it would all
Stevie
fall.
Nelson still?
You said what?
Don't they got Stevie Nelson still in Pittsburgh?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Stevie Nelson decent.
Do you really want him to be your number one corner though?
Yeah.
No, not number one, but like he good number 2 or 3.
He a good 3.
Yeah,
He a good slot corner.
Yeah.
All right, man. That bridges us over into our final position we're covering for today's episode. It's going to be safeties. So for me, had Justin Simmons, number 1 safety. My number 2 safety was Marcus May. And then my number 3 safety was Marcus Williams. So I'll just break it down real quick. So Justin Simmons, he was franchise tag last year with Denver. I don't per se see a franchise tag for him this year. But if they do, then there you go. It's gonna be expensive to franchise tag him again. I think he'll probably be the highest paid safety in free agency. I can definitely see between Denver and Cleveland. Those are my 2 spots that I'm kind of stuck in between with them on. Because Cleveland, they were dangerously close to beating Kansas City. That game was a lot closer than anyone would have predicted. And then Marcus May, I don't think he's leaving New York. I think I was reading online and the GM said something about they basically don't want him leaving. So he'll probably end up getting franchise tag. So I see Marcus May staying. And then my third one was Marcus Williams. With his familiarity with the 3-3-5 system that Sean Payton and them run in New Orleans. That's what Urban Meyer and them are probably planning on running in Jacksonville. So I see him fitting in perfectly with that system, and they have tons of cap money, or they have tons of cap space, and so they'll probably drop a little bit of cash on them. So we're going to transition to you, Stephen A. Who are your top 3 DBs?
I think we have a lot of the same ones. We must think of like Justin Simmons. Obviously, Big Fangio is a defensive coach, which is their head coach with Denver. So I think that they may be able to convince him to stay since he's a locker room leader. And then also I'm thinking, I like Marcus May a lot. Like I was thinking like sometimes when I was watching some of those games last year that he's actually one of the bright spots for the Jets, which would be interesting now that they have, Robert Saleh, like seeing like what they could do if they keep him and make him like the anchor of the defense. I think he stepped up well, knowing that, Adams left. Their defense, man, they with the right leadership, I mean, they could do well instead of just blitzing on every play like we saw him do last year. So I think maybe he even has a chance to stay. And lastly, I would say looking at kind of who's left over, safety-wise, let's not go with Marcus Williams like you did. Let's talk about, let's see here, who's on the list. Anthony Harris, let's see here. So safety-wise, let's talk about Jaquiski Tart. I always say his name wrong. I can see him maybe getting out of the Niners. I mean, it's weird. I don't know, like, if the Niners are rebuilding right now, if they're retooling, if they're just full on thinking they're going to go for it. I know when they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that, I thought, like, hey, like, does anybody really want to stay there? So I think he may be out of there. Not sure where he could go. I think he's talented when he can stay on the field. So I would probably say that he's gone, but the other 2 possibly have a chance to stay. So Marcus May staying and Justin Simmons staying.
Okay. And George, what you got for your 3 safeties?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, number 1, I'm gonna go same thing I said. Justin Simmons with Denver, right? I can see him going to the Raiders. I can see the Raiders trying to pull him away, staying in the AFC West. Like you said, to beat Kansas City, you got to have some secondary to kind of stop our pass attack. So the Raiders, I feel like they need some more help on the back end. They got the one safety back there. I can't think of his name, number 24 for the Raiders.
Jonathan Abram.
Yeah, they got Abram, man. So I feel like pair him up with Simmons, who's already familiar with the Chiefs. Like you said, Denver always plays was pretty close since he's been there. He kind of holds his own down. So I can see John Gruden coming, trying to swindle him away from Denver, coming to Oakland. And like I say, familiar with the division. So I can see Justin Simmons going to the Raiders, honestly. That's the only place I see him going, or staying in Denver. My second safety, man, he was injured. But I'm going to say Keanu Neal. Like you said, like you touched earlier, Stefan, with Dan Quinn going over to Dallas, the defensive coordinator, I can see Keanu Neal following him to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Because like the year that Dan Quinn or the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, Keanu Neal had a great year, a great season under Dan Quinn. So with the scheme changing and Dallas, with Quinn, he probably want to bring some of his veterans over to kind of help with that scheme on the back end. So I can see Keanu Neal coming over there on a proof of deal, right? And then third, man, I got Malik Hooker from the Colts right now. I got him maybe staying with the Colts because they probably about to lose a lot of pieces from the defense. So he's a young, up-and-coming talent, man. That defense is pretty strong. I can see them trying to make maybe a franchise tag on Malik Hooker, man. Because there's no other big names there. I can see they brought in Carson Wentz. But like I said, I feel like Justin Houston's leaving. There's no other big names coming up on contract right now. So I can see them just franchising Hooker to kind of keep that defense kind of in place and him staying put in Indianapolis.
Big Hooker, boy. I wasn't expecting to see that one.
Hooker's pretty good, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. I believe free agency starts next week on the 14th, free agency frenzy. So, if you guys enjoyed today's content, go ahead and follow me on Spotify. Hit that like button and subscribe on YouTube. Go to my link tree. It will be in the description below on Spotify and description below on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for joining us, listening. Thank y'all. And as always, y'all stay strong, stay safe, and keep hustling.